Hello, today we shall be looking at chapter 10, lesson 2, identification and numbering of units. The first topic we are going to look at under this topic is equipment identification and numbering system. Equipment class refers to the identification letter used for the equipment classification. It represents one or two more letter designation for the equipment. The more information about an equipment identification in a P&ID, the more information that can be obtained from the relevant standard and code. In this illustration, we have examples of equipment class and identification. For illustration purpose, intended equipment class designation. For equipment like boiler, what is the designation? B. Pumps, basic, concrete. P designation is A. Column designation is C. D can be the superheated heater. We have A, heat exchanger, air. We have EM here, which is air cooling motors. We have the G, which is electric motor. We have the LB, which is the liquid burner, and so on and so on. The same thing is applicable to drivers. D is for diesel engine, H is for motor, HT is turbine, and so on and so on. This is just for an illustration purposes. Equipment or auxiliary equipment identification and numbering system in PFD or P&ID follow the same method of standard equipment naming convention, which may include two or more of the system number, which is defined by the handlers and it is known by standard. Example YY 100 MNM. Equipment class defined by standard are code. Example the P for pump, B for boiler, FF for flare. Another naming convention of importance is the unit number, which define an area within the site. Example area 100, area of unit 200. Equipment numbers are assigned to items in the equipment class 001 in area 200 as in unit 201, showing that this equipment 001 is the first equipment in unit or in area 200. Secondary equipment identification of a similar unit or similar backup unit by A, B, C. For illustration purpose, let's look at this practical example of equipment identification and numbering system. The figure 10.2.1.3a for illustration equipment identification and numbering system. This is just for an illustration purpose. Here, let's assume an equipment label 100-P-200-01-P as an equipment name, for example. And let's also assume we have an auxiliary equipment. Here, the first letter here is always specified by client. Is the system number in the form of YYMN, or I shall be specified by client. The second letter here is the equipment class, P for pump, C for column, and so on. The third number here is the unit number or the area within the plant. Then the fourth number here is the equipment number. Can be 001, 002. 001 means the first equipment in that unit. 02 means the second equipment in that particular unit. Then the fifth number here is the secondary identifier, ABC, whether the equipment have a spare or not. For auxiliary equipment, here we have the first number here as the equipment number. Then the second number here is the equipment class. Okay, P for pump. The third equipment there, number 3, is header identification where applicable. And the number 4 here is the serial number of the auxiliary. And number 5 is the secondary identity. It is a secondary auxiliary equipment. For illustration purpose, let's take a look again at figure 10.2.1.3b. Here, figure 10.2.1.3b displays the name of the equipment as arrow 201. It shows the class unit and the equipment number. It shows few information about this equipment identification, equipment class, and the equipment number, without the system number and secondary equipment, for example. So, in naming this equipment now, we have the arrow, which is a reactor based on the equipment class. We have the unit 201 showing the equipment is in the area 200, and we have the last one, which is the one there, show the reactor is the first equipment in this unit. However, equipment in figure 10.2.1.3c show more detailed information about the equipment identification. The equipment identify the class, the unit, the equipment number, the system number, and the secondary equipment. Here, for example, the 300 here represent the system number. The V here represent the equipment class. The 901, the 900 there represents the equipment, the unit number, or the unit area. The last alphabet, which is U, is the secondary identifier. So there's another equipment label U. For illustration purpose, let's take a look at this equipment with this label 100-100P-200-01-B-890-K. The equipment label 100P-200-01-B in figure 10.2.1.3c show more detailed information. The equipment identify the class, the unit, the equipment number, the system number, and the secondary equipment. Also, the equipment label 100-P-200-01-B-890-K in figure 10.2.1.3c show detailed information with some specific label. The equipment identify the class, the unit, the equipment number, the system number, and the secondary equipment. However, the 890-K10 show a pump with the number 890- as its identifier. It refers to a secondary equipment B using 890-K as an identifier. I leave you here with some quick exercises. Thank you. See you again in chapter 10, lesson 3.